and myself. She sleeps there, Harry sleeps there, and I sleep here. Harry's 7.5. She'd have to try and taste it. And she won't, because she's Muslim. Hi guys, welcome back. This is Alpha Omega Occasionally. And on this occasion, we're going into quite some detail about how I live in Thailand and where I live in Thailand and what I do in Thailand on a daily basis. You will be excited and delighted and amazed and maybe bemused at what you will see in this video. Stay tuned. So to kick things off, here we are outside the dog box. As I said, we're going to go into detail as to how I live, where I live, and other bits and pieces of my life in Thailand. So we're outside the dog box, and I'll just give you a heads up. This is the outside area, and this is one of the reasons we're happy to live on the ground floor, because we get, or the Americans say the first floor, we say the ground floor, we get our area there where we can utilize to the full. You can't do that if you live on one of the upper floors. So let's go inside and see what it's like. So here we are, my workstation. I've got two main computers. I've got my MacBook. It's a MacBook Pro M4 16 gig, and my iMac 25 inch, is it? 25 inch 16 gig. And it's not M4, it's I don't know what it is. I don't know what, it's a few years old. But this is where it all happens. This is where I do my editing, and this is where I do my other stuff. And as you can see, it's right as you walk in the door. My workstation is on my right, the seating area is on my left. You've got about half a metre of a gap between that and that chair. And then we don't have a kitchen. We don't have a kitchen. This is what we got. Now it's a bit untidy, but look, this is life. This is life. We've got a kettle, we've got a sink, we've got a washing machine, and a microwave, and that's it. Oh, we got a fridge, and there's no cooking. There you go. So let's go into the bedroom, and you can see what it's like in there. So this is the bedroom. It's absolutely tiny for three people. It'd be grand for one, maybe even two, but three people live here. Harry, herself, and myself. She sleeps there, Harry sleeps there, and I sleep here. Harry's 7.5. And you might be saying to yourself, what the hell? Well, that's what Thais do. It's not unusual for Thais to have their kids sleeping in the bed with them. You know, and if you want to, you know, I was talking to a few lads yesterday in Sukhumvit when I was up there making a video. I met Rob. I was talking to Rob. Rob, you know who you are. And just to reiterate this, my marriage is okay. It's okay. But if you want to, you know, if you want to get some insight, there's three in the bed, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's just, it's not conducive to whatever it could be conducive to. You know, we're not getting into too much detail on that. But anyway, this is it. This is how I live. We will be going into every part of this institution where we live. It is like an institution. And you'll get a complete insight into how I live. But listen, if you're a regular viewer to the channel, you'll also know that this is only a stopgap. We have a house up in Pontootini, which is absolutely massive. And we planned, I could move up there tomorrow, but she'll be retiring within 12 months and we will move up there full time. We go up there every weekend, where this is Thursday, we'll be going up there tomorrow, which is Friday at 4 o'clock, and we stay there till Sunday. That's what we do every weekend. So it's not as bad, you know, it's not as cramped. Well, it is cramped, but it's not cramped every day, because we punctuate our time. So I hope you enjoy this video. Here we go on the grand tour of this institution. We couldn't forget the garden or the play area. This is where all the yummy mummies come, and I mean yummy mummies. And by the way, if I manage to catch the eye of one of the absolutely drop dead gorgeous beautiful girls that live here and have a chat with her, I will. But at this time in the morning, they're either just come back from work, or they're going out to work, or they're working online. Anyway, here we are in the garden with the sprinklers, and it's January. Sprinklers in January, huh? How about it? Let's have a look at another very popular place in this sanatorium. It's the gym, the gymnasium, that has a common area where people can sit and talk and shoot the breeze. So here I am in the gym, alone. There's nobody here. So I'm not disturbing anybody. I'm not disturbing anyone at all. I'm not invading anyone's privacy or privacy, whatever you want to call it. But you probably say that I should spend more time in here because I have a figure like a sack of spanners. And I agree with you. I agree with you. But sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Anyway, let's have a look around. This is where you could sit of an evening, or even now. I could just sit here now. It's fully air conditioned. It's like an extension to your dog box, basically. You've got you've got couches, and you can sit around and do the thing, but you can't consume food or beverages. But people do. They do. And that one on security up there, who can, by the way, I showed you her earlier on. She's the one who keeps, very nice one. But she keeps an eagle eye on all of us. I was accosted by her for drinking Leo in the pool. I left the Leo on the side of the pool, do a bit of a swim, and I can swim. Do a bit of a swim, come back and take a swig of Leo. And she said, come up to me. No. Okay, I said, okay. So since then, as you know, I've become very well acquainted with various types of gin. And regardless of what your gin is, if you use tonic water, for example, with ice, it doesn't look like anything in the glass. It looks like water. So now I use my gin when I'm in the pool. And she can't say anything. Well, she can say it if she wants to, but she's no case because she'd have to try and taste it. And she won't because she's Muslim. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So we've got our dumbbell section. Hang on. Let's go for does it how many kilos? It does. These are 10 kilo. 10 kilo. Jesus Christ, lads, 10 kilos. Should I be able to do it? Yeah. I can't do it with this one. This is my dodgy arm. I can't do it with that arm. It's a dodgy arm of a dodgy shoulder. But can I extend it? Oh, whoa. Let's go for, hang on. Is that back in its place? I hope so. Okay. That's 8, 6. We go for the 4 kilos. Go for 4 kilos. So 4 kilos should be no problem for, that's a bad shoulder, for either arm, and extend. I can't do it this the shoulder. And do the curls. You see? There's life in the old dog yet, lads. You see? There's life in the old dog yet, lads. Maybe not a lot. Anyway. So that's our, it goes right up to 20 kilos. I tell you what, I'm going to lift it. Fuck, Jesus. 20, who can do an arm curl with 20 kilos? What would you use 20 kilos for? I mean, like this. It is 20 kilos, lads. I'm not pulling your leg. That's 20 kilos. Can you see it? Fuck. That's 20 kilos. What the hell? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Hang on. So it goes right up to 20 kilos. So it's very well equipped. And you've got 3, and I say it again, 3 treadmills. And these are amongst the most popular devices or machines in this place. First thing in the morning, this is full of beauties, and I mean beauties. And in the evening then it's full. It's kind of a place where people come to congregate. I'll show you where they congregate there now, look. So we have our stepping machines, is that what they're called? And 2 bicycles, 2 stepping machines and 2 bicycles. Harry loves those. We've also got, here, these things. So excuse my ignorance, what are these called? They're state of the art. They are state of the art. I'm going on a lot in this video about the things that aggravate me about living here. But I can tell you, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. You're not made to feel like an outsider here like you would on the street. In other words, we all know what it feels like to live on the periphery of Thai society. where they're Thai and you're not. Here we're all residents, and you're made to. I don't feel any different than any of the rest of them. There's a lot of Chinese live here. There's a couple of Europeans. There's an American guy that lives here. There used to be an Argentinian guy, but he moved down the road. Who else is there? That's about it. Me and the American fella now at the moment. That's about it. And then you've got a bevy of Chinese. The Chinese are the ones that don't follow the rules. As I said earlier, we showed you the smoking areas earlier on. They smoke outside their condos, and they always get into confrontation with the security one, telling them to stop. So this is the toilet area. You've seen when you've seen them all. But you have your sauna or your sauna controls there. You've got your coals there. You've seen a sauna before. But my wife loves it. You got a male one, and they're not communal. They're not communal. This is the male one. Obviously, the female one's in the ladies. My wife loves her El sauna. I've never used it. Saunas do nothing for me. Massage does nothing for me. Certain types of massage, yes, but not your traditional Thai massage. Does nothing for me. And saunas do nothing for me. I can't see the point. So there's 24-hour security, but the security that's stationed here isn't to keep an eye on people coming in. It's to keep an eye on the people that are already in, the people that live here. You can't speak loudly. You can't consume any kind of beverage or any kind of food next to the pool. You can't do it in the gym. It's very, very controlled. And I've often said it before, it's like living in a bloody sanitarium. The pool. It's 1.5 meters deep, which means it's a pain in the ass. I know it's wonderful to have, but as I didn't allude to it, as I mentioned in my previous video, I'm 183 centimeters high, so it's not really enjoyable. You don't get the buoyancy. You need a bit of depth for buoyancy. The reason they do it, by the way, the reason it's 1.5 meters in depth and not any deeper is because of insurance. Apparently, if it's any deeper, they'd need to employ a lifeguard. But it's not a lifeguard I'd be worried about, because kids play in that pool. Harry got a virus from that pool because kids do what they do in swimming pools, if you know what I mean. And if things couldn't get any worse, take off your SHOSE. Take off your SHOSE. What the hell is that? And no run. What does that mean? No pet. Which pet are they talking about? So now we're at the main reception area. This is where it all happens. This is the administration office, or as they call it, the juristic person's office. That's the translation from Thai. If you order something online, this is where it's brought, and the whoever it is, Lazada.com or wherever it is, will call you and tell you the delivery's here and this is where you get it. It's a one-stop shop. It really is. It's a one-stop shop for everything. It's very nice, and they have a kind of they have a loungy seated area there as well, where you can sit there and relax if you want to do so. So here we are at the smoking area. And look, isn't it very pleasant? There's two smoking areas in this place. As a former smoker myself, I know I wouldn't really give a damn where I could have a fag. By the way, a fag is a cigarette for all the Americans watching. I wouldn't give a damn where I could have a fag. I wouldn't give a damn where I could have a fag as long as I could have a fag. Let's have a look in more detail inside here. And I'll admit, there's been occasion, I gave up smoking, I don't know, just after Harry was born, about 6 years ago. And I was on and off all my life. And I'm still, you know, the odd, very, very odd time, depends on the company you're with, I suppose. But I've sat here during stressful periods since I've been living here, and I've gone out and I bought 20 smokes, the menthol ones, so I won't name product names just in case, whatever, but anyway, and I'd smoke one or two, and I'd have a can of beer, and I'd smoke one or two, and then I'd have another one and get another can of beer. And that's how I dealt with stress. I don't deal with stress that way anymore. But yeah, this is one of two smoking areas. I'll show you the other one, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's used. Look, it's used. It's used very much so. Behind me is the second designated area for such activity, and I don't know. For me, at this stage of my life, if I'm not stressed and I was to start smoking, it would make me more stressed. It would. It increases anxiety. I remember years ago when I used to smoke, the first cigarette in the morning with a coffee would just increase the anxiety off the scale. So I'm glad I don't anymore, to be honest with you. But that's the second. That's the one of. Oh, there's another one. There's another one in the car park, but you don't want to see that. But here, the percentage of people that do is surprisingly large. There's a sizable percentage of the people who live here that avail of those kind of places. Double parking is absolutely compulsory. It's impossible for those guys to get out unless they move those cars. It's a pain in the ass, and it's bloody Thai logic. They make do with it. Why? Why would you have to tolerate this? Why can't they just build a bloody apartment block and provide adequate car parking? God damn. And of course, you have to leave your handbrake off. Or what do they call it in America? The parking brake. And they use these pebbles. They get them from around there's a pebble thing around the pool. And they use these pebbles I'm going to put them back. They use the pedals, and that prevents the cars from rolling because they leave their handbrakes off, their parking brakes off, so they can move the cars along so people can come in and out. It's a pain in the hole, it really is. How people can tolerate, well, you see, this is a Thai thing. They tolerate that. You pay for your apartment, you pay for your monthly maintenance or your annual maintenance, and yet they don't supply adequate car parking. And you have to put up with this shite every day of the week. Every day of the week. There are copious amounts of Mercedeses in this place. And I mean it. There's one there, and there's one down there, and there's numerous ones around the place. And here's the thing. That thing would probably cost the same as an apartment here. More or less. Actually, probably more, because an apartment here is 3 million baht. That's about $100,000, which is quite reasonable. But as you saw earlier, it's a bloody dog box, or they are dog boxes. And you buy a car which is it's going to cost you more than your accommodation. That's a Thai thing. Saving face. They'll drive around in an expensive car and live in a cheap condo just to show everybody how important they are. That's a fact. I mean, you can see it here. He lives in a dog box. He lives in a dog box. He lives in a dog box. He's got a Mercedes. He's better than me, but he lives in a dog box. And he lives in a dog box. I know that because that's my car. And the reason I park up here, I'm up on the top level of the multi-story. There's 3 levels. Because they can't double park here. Well, they can. Obviously, they can. But you could try it. But it's no feasible way you could really do it. So to get away from all the bloody mayhem of double parking, I come up here. But going back down, I have to deal with this. This individual is parked on the ramp. Look at the hassle that guy has getting out. They're double parked in there as well. I swear to God, who thought this would be a good idea? To build a place and not provide adequate car parking. I mean, come on, parking on a bloody ramp. But look at this fella coming up here. Has to pass the guy on the ramp, you see. No, he hasn't. He's got to reverse, and there's a car behind him. Jesus. How in the name of God is he going to... He wants to leave. He wants to get out of here. But he can't because there's cars parked behind him. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Look what he has to do to get out. This is a joke. This is an absolute joke. This aggravates me no end. It really does. It's absolute Thai logic. It makes absolute no sense. And they put up with it. They absolute, look at this. Dry steering all the way. I just don't know. I just don't know. So even if you park up here where they can't double park, when you're going down the ramp, you have to deal with that kind of shit. While we're up here, we might as well have a look at some of the architecture. That's lovely. That's a tarpaulin, whatever you want to call it, a thing. They're building, that's what it's going to look like. There was a family living in that. That was derelict, obviously. There was a family living in that before. And that's nothing but Thailand. People live in absolute squalor. I mean squalor. Just across the road from people who live in relative luxury. I said some nice views around here. I'll give you an aerial view of where we are. So there's a prime spot of wasteland there. That's probably worth a mint, an absolute mint. There's one of those Mercedes fellas down there. And we've got condo buildings there, and everywhere. And there's our ones there. They even double, I know the lighting's bad here, they even double park. This is the middle level of the multi-story. Look, double parked, just at the ramp. And you come up the ramp and you got a tight turn to take because that idiot, well I won't say idiot, that idiotic style of parking causes absolute mayhem. Well, it does for me. Looky here. A sea of bloody motorcycles blocking everybody. There's designated motorcycle car parking just out here. There's designated motorcycle parking just out here, but there isn't enough of it. So this is where the cleaners, and they're fantastic, they really are. This is where they hang out, and this is where they eat, and this is where they stay when they're on their breaks, and this is where they have all their cleaning, not all of it, some of their cleaning utensils. They work fantastically well, and they get paid shite, absolute shite. The basic, and somebody will correct me on this, but basically, what is it? It's 400 baht per day, which is about $12 or give or take per day. That's what they get, and they work 6 days a week. The contract changes, I don't know exactly, but roughly every 12 months they'll just finish their contract, get a new company wins the contract. It's happened every year since I've been here. I don't know the reason for it. And do what they do, they take each other's photographs. They line up in the morning, the cleaners lined up in the morning, they take a photograph. They take a photograph of each other sweeping and they send it to the head office. If you don't have a washing machine, there you go. What are we talking about here? How much is it? They've changed these recently. These are all brand new. I think it's about 30 baht, give or take. Yeah, and it's bilingual. It is bilingual. Coin in, you can get your coins here. There's a coin machine there. So you can do your washing if you haven't got a washing machine. We do, so we don't have to use that. There you go. There's two entrances stroke exits in this place, and what I'm drawing your attention to now is that I've said this before, pedestrians are second-class citizens in Thailand. Pedestrians in Thailand are second-class citizens. Look at this, there is no pedestrian access. Or pedestrian access is an afterthought. These are new barriers. There was, in the past, a little walkway for pedestrians. So we have to do this. We have to step up on the path, you see, and walk around. Walk through. Look. Walk through into the path of the oncoming traffic into the entrance. There's no way to get in. There's no designated pedestrian access. So what the hell is going on? Well, I tell you what's going on. In this country, pedestrians are completely and utter also-rans. It's a fact. The car comes first. And here's another thing. That's a speed ramp. And look where it is. It's at the entrance. I mean, who is traveling at a speed that would necessitate a speed ramp if you're going into a place? Or, there's another one there, if you're coming out of the place. I mean, where's the logic? That's absolute Thai logic. You see, if you're wondering why I'm making such a big deal about the speed ramps, there's 4 speed ramps in the entire complex. There's 2 at that entrance or exit, and there's 2 at the main entrance or exit, and there's none anywhere else. And from my experience, if you need speed ramps, you need them here, all along here, because this is where the Grab guys come with their deliveries and they shoot like bloody torpedoes. So where's the fucking logic? Why would you put a bloody speed ramp at an entrance and exit and leave the whole concourse completely devoid? And those aforementioned Grab guys leave the food here on these tables. There's 4 buildings, each building has a table, and a lot of people here work online, just like myself, and they order their food. But you see, Thais are extremely into online food ordering, like probably anywhere else in the world, but I'm not. I do it now and again. If I want to eat something, I walk to 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is 30 meters from that other exit entrance where I was showing you there. And people order from 7-Eleven. They don't bother walking the 30-40 meters. They order and it's left here. That's a fact. By the way, I love living in this place. The staff are excellent, they're professional, they're courteous, they're everything, every adjective, every positive adjective you could imagine. But obviously there's aspects of where I live and where you live that annoy the daylights out of you. Well, it's been my absolute pleasure to bring you on this guided tour, lads. It really has. It really has. There's no pretense with me. You know, I give it to you as it is, and that's as much as I could give you without getting too personal, if you know what I mean. But I hope you get an insight into how I live. Well, that's how I live. But, you know, there's things that I do in my life that I don't share on YouTube, because who shares everything with everybody? Absolutely nobody. If we all shared everything we did with our partners, I mean everything we thought of and did with our partners, we wouldn't have a partner. So there you go. But I'm glad you are my partners in this journey, this YouTube journey, and it is. It just keeps going and progressing and progressing. I have my good videos, I have my bad videos. I'm hoping this is a good one, but whatever it is, I hope you think it's a good one. And I hope you, if you do so, click the like button, the share button, subscribe button, do all those wonderful things, and you know I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.